Good morning, Key Stage 1, and welcome to your Week 2, Day 2 of your Little Red Riding Hood unit of work. Today, we are going to be moving on in our learning journey, and we are going to be using apostrophes for possession. To be successful in this lesson, you should be able to identify where an apostrophe for possession has been used in a text. You should also be able to write sentences that include an apostrophe for possession, and some of you will even be able to edit your writing to use apostrophes for possession correctly. Our vocabulary focus for today is the word possession. Can you say that word? Possession. Well done. Try it one more time. The word is possession. What's the word? Superstars. And on the next slide, we will think about what the word possession means. So possession is a noun, so it's a thing. And if you are in possession of something, you have it and it belongs to you. So a possession is something that belongs to you. We've got the definition up here if you need it for what a possession is. So remember, it's something that belongs to you. Try and answer some questions so you show that you know what a possession is. So number 1, which of the following was Little Red Riding Hood's possession? Was it A, a Nerf gun, B, a fidget spinner, C, an LOL doll, or D, a basket of food? What was Little Red Riding Hood's possession? Which of these items belonged to her? Well done, it was a basket of food. That was Little Red Riding Hood's possession. Number 2, can you think of any possessions that you have? What things do you have that belong to you? Well done. I think you know what a possession is now. With our first retrieval for today, we are looking at punctuation because we're going to be looking at a lot of punctuation in today's lesson. So I have some punctuation at the top here, and you need to discuss which name belongs to each one. So which one is a question mark, which one is a full stop, which one is speech marks or inverted commas, and which one is an exclamation mark. Pause the video if you need some time before I go over the answers. So this first one here is a full stop. Well done if you got that correct. Next we have the question mark, then the exclamation mark, and finally the speech marks or inverted commas. Well done for remembering the names of these pieces of punctuation. Now I'm going to make it a little bit trickier, and you need to match the punctuation to the sentence that it belongs into. So this first sentence here is, she took a basket of food with her. What punctuation goes with that? Next we've got, where are you going? Hello, said the wolf. And what big eyes you have. Remember to pause the video if you need some time to talk about it before the answers come up. The first sentence, make sure you've got a full stop with that one. So the full stop goes to, she took a basket of food with her. Full stop at the end. The question mark belongs to, where are you going? Question mark at the end. It is a question sentence. The exclamation mark goes to, what big eyes you have. And the word what at the beginning is a clue. Lots of exclamation sentences start with what. And finally, hello, said the wolf. That is speech marks, which should go around the word hello. Well done if you got those correct. You are starting to learn lots about your punctuation. We have a new piece of punctuation that we are going to be looking at today. Some of you may already know this one, but for those who don't, we are going to be needing to use this in our writing. So this piece of punctuation is called an apostrophe. What's it called? Well done. We'll try it one more time. It's called an apostrophe. What is it called? Super. And over here, we've got an explanation of what it is. So apostrophes are used to show possession. So they're used to show that something belongs to someone. It's someone's belonging. So we've got this is Amy's car. The car belongs to Amy. Well done. And then we've got Robert's shoes are dirty. The dirty shoes belong to Robert. Well done. And they've got the apostrophe there to show who it belongs to. You can keep that in your mind. We will be coming back to that in just a moment. One thing I wanted to show you before we move on is an apostrophe looks very similar to a comma. So we need to make sure we know when it's an apostrophe and when it's a comma. So a comma sits on the line, whereas an apostrophe is really high up. And we can see that in this example here in Amy's car. The apostrophe is floating up in the air, but if it was a comma, it would be low down on the line. I'm going to show you some sentences and you need to work out if it's an apostrophe or if it's a comma. First question, apostrophe or comma? A little later, Little Red Riding Hood came to the house. Is this an apostrophe where it's floating in the air, or is it a comma where it's on the line? Shout the answer out. It is a comma. Well done if you got that right. It is sat on the line. Next sentence. There was a wolf in her grandmother's bed. Is it an apostrophe or is it a comma? Shout the answer out. This one is an apostrophe. Well done for getting that correct. Last sentence, a little trickier. I took the line away from you, but you should still be able to work out if it's an apostrophe or if it's a comma. He heard Little Red Riding Hood's scream. Is that an apostrophe or a comma? Shout it out. It is an apostrophe. Well done. For your first activity, what you need to do is listen to me when I read this part of the story. So this is the final paragraph in the Little Red Riding Hood story. And when you think I've come to an apostrophe that shows possession, you need to shout stop. So you are trying to find the apostrophes for possession in the final paragraph. So listen to me carefully, and if you think I come across an apostrophe for possession, you need to shout stop. Help! Shouted Little Red Riding Hood as she realised that there was a wolf in her grandmother's bed. Did I hear you shout stop? Well done if you did. There is an apostrophe for possession there. And it's the grandmother's bed. The bed belonging to her grandmother. Superstars. I'll carry on reading now. She ran out of the house. A woodcutter was nearby. He heard Little Red Riding Hood's scream. Well done if you shouted stop again. There is another one there. The scream belonging to Little Red Riding Hood. Little Red Riding Hood's scream. Fantastic. And notice how the apostrophe comes before the S, and the same with grandmother's bed. The apostrophe is just before the S, which is where yours will need to be when you do your writing. I'll finish off reading now. And ran to the house. The woodcutter hit the wolf over the head. The wolf ran away, and Little Red Riding Hood never saw him again. Fantastic listening, everyone. Well done. And well done if you spotted those 2 apostrophes for possession in the text. You will need to remember those for later. Soon you are going to be writing your own sentences with apostrophes for possession in. So just remember that when you're writing them, it comes before the S. So the apostrophe is nice and high and before the S. Good luck with writing your own sentences. So let's look a little bit more at showing apostrophes for possession. So remember, that is showing that something belongs to someone. So I have a picture here of Little Red Riding Hood and the wolf, and I'm going to show you some phrases where we can use apostrophes to show something belongs to someone. So my first example is Little Red Riding Hood's basket. It's the basket that belongs to Little Red Riding Hood. Little Red Riding Hood's cape. The cape that belongs to Little Red Riding Hood. And notice with the apostrophe how it comes before the S. So we've got Little Red Riding Hood, apostrophe S, cape. The cape belonging to Little Red Riding Hood. We've got examples for the wolf now as well. So the wolf's ears, the ears belonging to the wolf. And again, notice how the apostrophe comes before the S. And we've got the wolf's tail, the tail belonging to the wolf. What I want you to do is discuss this with your grown-up and then see if you can write some of your own examples of using apostrophes for possession. You can pause the video and have my example on the board to help you. So think about what else could belong to these characters. Maybe the sharp pointy teeth, the wolf's sharp pointy teeth. Maybe you can think about Little Red Riding Hood's shoes or her dress. Pause the video and see if you can write some of your own. Now has come the time for you to finish your Little Red Riding Hood story. So you've got one last paragraph to write, and that is your purple paragraph. That is the final paragraph of Little Red Riding Hood. And in this paragraph, you need to make sure you are using your capital letters, your best cursive handwriting, finger spaces, full stops. You won't need a question mark, but you will need an exclamation mark. You need to make sure you read it and that you check it. And in this paragraph as well, you also need to make sure you are using your apostrophes for possession. Remember, there are 2 in this paragraph that you need to remember. We have the text map here to help you and the pictures from the story. And don't forget to use that sound chart to help you with your tricky spellings. Pause the video and give it a go, writing that final paragraph of the Little Red Riding Hood story. Well done for all of that amazing writing that you have done. You have finished the story, which is incredible. So give yourselves a pat on the back for doing such fantastic writing this week. So our plenary then. We have got 3 sentences, A, B and C. And you need to think about which sentence needs an apostrophe to show possession. Is it A, the wolf ran to grandmother's house? Is it B, she lived with her mother in a village near a forest? Or is it C, he went inside, put on a nightgown and got into her bed? Pause the video and have a discussion before the answer comes onto the board. Well done if you got that right. So it should have been A, the wolf ran to grandmother's house. It's the house belonging to her grandmother. And the apostrophe should come before the S. So just there. The wolf ran to grandmother's house, the house belonging to her grandmother. Now it's your turn. You need to read through all of your writing, so the whole of the Little Red Riding Hood story. You need to make sure that you read it carefully, that you're checking it. You can use a red pen to edit your work if you've got one. If not, using your pencil would be absolutely fine. And you need to make sure that you've got your possessive apostrophe, so your apostrophes for possession, in all parts of your writing where you need it. Pause the video before we go on to our reflection and make sure you have checked all of your work. Well done, everyone. Let's see how successful you have been in your learning today. So today's learning objective was to use apostrophes for possession. Think in your head, can you identify where an apostrophe for possession has been used in a text? Can you also write sentences that include an apostrophe for possession? And can you even edit the rest of your writing to use apostrophes for possession? Have a think about how successful you have been in today's lesson. Well done for your amazing work today, everyone. Tomorrow we are going to be moving on to editing your writing by rereading it and checking it. And that's a skill that you started today when you were searching for your apostrophes for possession. But tomorrow we're going to be editing all of it and making sure that it makes sense, you've got the correct punctuation, and you've got the correct spellings. Have a lovely day, everyone, and I can't wait to work with you tomorrow.